this guy had a lot of games, but they were all sort of sealed, and they have a whole host of them. I don't know where they get them from. They must just go and buy them in bulk from a particular store or something. I really don't know. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the free Trading Game Collection Challenge, the series where I build a video game collection without spending any money on it. That's what this is. If you've missed any of the episodes, the playlist is linked down below. Something else that's linked below, today's sponsor. Thank you to today's sponsor, K4G.com, a digital goods platform for PC and console gaming. Whether you're looking for the latest releases such as Football Manager 2023, they've got you covered with huge discounts. And if you want to pre-order the latest games from Forspoken to Dead Space, these also have pretty enticing discounts. They also have 24/7 support and over 4,000 reviews on Trustpilot. So regardless what you're looking for, I'm sure there's something for you. If you use the code TVM at checkout, you will get yourself a 10% discount. Any and all links are found in the description. So if you are new to the series and you do go on to enjoy today's video, please consider hitting the like button and of course subscribing for more content. We do build this from nothing. And like I said, if you have missed any of the videos up until this point, you want to go back and check them out. Maybe you're interested to see how we've managed to pick up Shadow of the Colossus on the PS4, maybe you're not, then you can go find that video in the playlist. So in this series, essentially what I do is I go out and I find deals, whether it be on Facebook, eBay, retail stores, you name it. Car boot sales were a thing of the past now because we're into that weather where people just don't have them. But pick up a deal, buy it for, say, £20, sell part of the deal, the majority of it, on for £20 or more. In some cases we do make a profit. Whatever's left over we may trade into CEX or we may put into the collection if we like it. Essentially that's the way it works, right? I'm not going to just collect anything and everything for the sake of it. Anything and everything on this shelf has a purpose. There is a reason why I own there isn't actually a reason why I own Lara Croft Temple of Osiris. I'm not really massively into Tomb Raider or that game, but it was cheap in a boot sale, so I pulled the trigger on it. But you get the idea. So, in recent times, even though the series has a cash profit, we haven't really gone out and bought many deals. And the reason for that is because my Facebook at the moment, for some reason, doesn't show me deals until like 2 or 3 hours after they've gone live. I set my my parameters to like 3 kilometers and it shows me things that are like 25 miles away. It's just all over the place. So I miss a lot of deals and I haven't been able to find anything worth picking up on there for a long time. I do have some Vinted orders coming soon. There are a couple of things on eBay that I'm watching right now that end very soon. So what I've decided to do, to try and get some more money back into the series, I've gone through this collection and I've had a little look to see if we can purge it further, because we did have a purge a little while back where I took a lot of stuff out and I traded a lot of it in and we managed to get some credit back for it. But this time what I'm going to do primarily though is to try and get more cash into the series. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to sell. I've also got some pickups to show you in today's episode as well. So first of all, I'm going to purge a few games from the Xbox One. Basically, I'm not going to collect anything Xbox One unless it's exclusive. We're talking Forzas and Halos and things. I'm going to collect those. But when it comes to things like Minecraft, for example, I wouldn't mind owning Minecraft, but I don't need it on an Xbox. So I've sold it. I think it went for like £7 or £8. It could have gone for a little bit more, but the disc is slightly damaged. It does work. It's just not like aesthetically pleasing and you couldn't trade it in. So I've sold that. It's gone £7 or £8. We're going to take that out of I'm going to do it all at the end rather than do it bit by bit, but I'm going to take everything out. If I've got a spreadsheet, I'm going to take everything out of the collection value and we're going to add it into how much I've sold it for, because it doesn't owe us anything anymore essentially, right? So anything else that isn't an exclusive is going, with the exception of a few things. And by few I mean basically one. Destiny 2, it isn't worth anything. No one wants it. I could list that on eBay for a penny and I doubt anyone would buy it. Plus I don't think you can list things for a penny, but you get the idea. I don't think anyone would buy that for a penny, so it's going to have to remain in the collection. Now before we come to the first, or rather the biggest change that I'm going to make here, and it's actually a console sale, let's talk about PlayStation 1. I've not been shy in saying that I don't really care too much for PlayStation 1. I did have that console as I would say a child. I don't know how old I was when that came out, but I did have it. But I didn't play it anywhere near as much as I did the SNES or the Nintendo 64, Sega Saturn. I looped consoles a lot. I had consoles when they came out, but I also went back to play older consoles. I wasn't one of these people who needed the newest thing when it came out. I was more than happy to bounce around from a few things. I was very, very lucky as a child as well to have essentially whatever I wanted. Not whenever I wanted, but yeah, within a reasonable amount of time of wanting it. So I bounced around. And PlayStation, apart from things like Resident Evil and Tony Hawk's and things like that, there weren't that many games that I have massively fond memories of. Gran Turismo is one of them. But I'm going to purge a lot of the PlayStation collection, the PS1 that is, so nearly all of the football games are going, as well as a few other things. I am going to keep a very small selection, and I'll show you those in like a little overlay right now. The rest of it are going to go in bundles, so I've just listed them up for like, I don't know, bundles of 5 or 6 for like £10-15 or something. If they go, they go. If they take ages to sell, whatever it may be. I've sold bundles of PlayStation games like that before, and I have had some success, so I'm just going to see if I can get them gone. ISS 90, is it 98? I think it was called ISS 98. I sold that before. The reason people buy that is because it comes with a Metal Gear Solid demo. That has gone for £16. So that was nearly how much I paid for the entire PlayStation 1 collection, essentially. So we've made that back. That's going to go in to the cash profit. So before we dive into the major change of the collection, let's take a little break. Let's go to a shop. So this is a store called Nerd Nook. It is local to me. And they sell a hell of a lot of Funko Pops, but they also sell figures and Loungefly bags and collectibles in general. It's not a massive store by any stretch of the imagination, but they have a very, very good selection. Now, in this series, we do primarily focus on video games, but I have been known to buy some Funko Pops, right? So I had 2 Turtles Funko Pops of my own, in my own personal collection. And then I bought a Balrog from Street Fighter from Insane Games in Wells, I think it was, a little while ago. And I did say that I wasn't going to be against picking up collectibles for the series and for the collection. So it's not going to be a prime focus of mine, but it is definitely going to be something that I look to do, especially NECA figures. Now, NECA is a huge name in the collectibles world. They make some really top quality figures. I do have a few of my own, but I won't be including those because they're not really of the video game genre. However, there are a few that I've had my eye on for quite a while, and now that we've got sort of Turtles thing on the go, we've got some Turtles Pops. We've just bought some, spoiler alert, Turtles games in Black Friday. Shredder's Revenge is one of the best games I've played in a long, long time. I had a hell of a lot of fun on that. Completed like the first 5 stages without even realizing. They're not long particularly, like maybe 6 to 10 minutes each, but it's just so much fun to play them. Anyway, I want to collect things like this, and particularly for certain series, and that is going to be Turtles. I am a big, big fan of the cartoon, the original films and everything, so I do want to collect as many Turtles things as possible, and that kind of brings me on to what I've picked up. So, it is a Funko Pop. I have kind of half wanted it for a while. He's not really in any of the sort of newer stuff, and it is going to be Krang. This guy's voice, this guy in general it's a laugh.
Why haven't you completed my new body?
He is obviously the bad guy that kind of controls Shredder and everything, but he is a bit of an idiot at the same time. I really like this pop. There should be a sticker there. It had it a little bit of a discount actually, because there should be an Entertainment Earth exclusive sticker there, and it's been taken off by what I presume is a child walking past and just picking things. I should get a pop protector for it really, but I don't know where it's going to go. There's not really any room on the shelf. This was £15. I think that's pretty reasonable. I'm not quite sure how much it is on eBay. I did have a look just in case I wasn't getting a great deal. That will come out of the cash profit, but I will do that at the end because, of course, we are adding more money back into the cash profit now that we're selling part of the collection on. But that is going to be a collectible that goes on the shelf. I do have another pickup for today, though, but we will talk about that after we talk about the next purge, which is the biggest one and I would say arguably the biggest change to the series. So a few of you in the last episode were talking about the games turned on the side, and I said I would explain it. Couple of people, I think maybe one person guessed it. The PlayStation 3, it's not really a console I ever really played. I bought it at launch, and I've told this story before, so I'm not going to tell it again. I bought it at launch thinking it was going to just fly off the shelves. I actually bought it to make money in a way, but I took it home that day, and I had Snooker, and I had MotorStorm, and there may have been one other game. Was it Resistance Fall of Man? Did that come out at launch? I can't remember. But I remember playing MotorStorm thinking, wow, this is a really, really good game. And I was obviously playing Snooker thinking, this is available on Xbox, what am I doing? But of course I had the 360 already, and then in the end, within 6 months, I sold the PlayStation, didn't need it anymore. And then I didn't get it back again until a couple of years after, and I played a few of the exclusives on it. But I've never really had any sort of attachment to the PlayStation 3. We picked up the PS3 in a car boot sale for £10. It came with a controller, came with the console itself. I think it was the 40 gig, and I don't think it came with anything else. I had to add the power cable, which I already had, and a HDMI, but that was it. It was £10, and it was fully working, and the seal was still intact and everything. Could have traded it in, but what I've decided to do, and in fact what I've already done, is I've sold the PlayStation 3. I know, shock, horror, can't believe it, blasphemy. But hear me out, right? My point is, there isn't really anything on the PlayStation that hasn't already had a remaster that I can play on a PS4, which I own. So I don't really care too much for the PS3, it's just there for the sake of it being in the collection. So I decided to sell the PlayStation and the games as a bundle. We got £60 for that, for a 40 gig PS3 with some throwaway titles like Tour de France, and Little Big Planet 1. I think we had a Resistance in there as well. Just not very... I mean, they're good games, but they're not expensive games at all. Sold all that for £60 plus postage. Yes, there's going to be some fees to take out of it. I will calculate it all at the end. But I've got some money to put back into the collection, or the cash profit, shall we say. Yes, we're going to lose some collection value, but does it really matter? I don't think so. So the plan going forward is going to be not to collect any PlayStation 1 unless I absolutely love that particular game. I'm not going to go through every platform here, just the ones we've sort of affected. Xbox One, I'm only going to collect exclusives, because I don't see the point in collecting things that I would like all on the PS4. Xbox 360 is going to be where I collect all of that, I would say, lifespan, that genre of games. So anything from that time period, then it will be all 360, and we have a lot to collect there because there are a lot of games I like on that console. PlayStation 3, we'll get the remasters, and if I'm desperate to play something that doesn't have a remaster, I can probably get it on the PS4 as a digital download. And then, speaking of PS4, we're obviously going to focus now on that console, not on the Xbox One, and then of course PlayStation 5, which is the newest console which we own. Not part of the collection. I am tempted to try and make that part of the collection though, so that we can say that we have a PS5 that's been paid for through this, because at the moment I'm collecting PS4 and PS5 games, and I'm playing them on a console that isn't part of the collection. Seems a little bit stupid. So we'll see what we can do with that going forward. However, does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I do have another pickup though, and this is from a car boot sale a little while ago. This is a bit of a weird one, because this guy had a lot of games, but they were all sort of sealed games, and none of them were particularly... Some of them were new, sure, but they're also this like indie type game that just don't cost that much money anyway. They're like no more than £15-20 brand new. And they have a whole host of them. I don't know where they get them from. They must just go and buy them in bulk from a particular store or something. I really don't know. However, in amongst all of the really cheap, low indie type games was one particular game that he was selling for £5. It was sealed, and I didn't look it up because I thought, you know what, this is old enough for me to pull the trigger and be happy about it. It is Halo 3. Now, unfortunately, it is the classics, but it is sealed with the original cellophane on it, and it still has the Xbox like security thing there as well. I was quite pleased to pick this up. I'm going to keep this. I'm not going to look to sell it, but I'm not going to start buying sealed games and then keeping them sealed. I think I'll keep this sealed forever, because I think you can get Halo 3, obviously like unsealed if you will, cheap enough that I can go and just buy it if I want to play it. I remember playing this not knowing anything about Halo when I had the 360. I actually really enjoyed it for what it was. I know a lot of people will say, well, of course you really enjoyed it, it's an absolute banging game, and that's fine, but doesn't tend to be my kind of thing. But I did actually really enjoy this. But I think that might be one of the only games that we ever have in the collection that will remain sealed for the entire time. It is classics, like I said, so I'm not expecting it to just skyrocket in price. But I think this is probably worth between 10 and 15 right now. Got it for 5. I'm not too sad about that. And that is going to bring us to the end of today's video. A bit of a weird one. We did go out, we had a little look around, but also just mainly purging the collection. Now, I know a lot of people are not going to be happy with me getting rid of the PlayStation, and a lot of people are not going to really understand the sort of figures behind it, but trust me, I have worked this out meticulously. The new figures for you are on screen right now. So we have a brand new cash balance. It hasn't gone up tremendous, but it has gone up enough that we can now have a little bit of money to play with. I am going to have to take the money for Halo and Krang that has now been purchased there out of that cash balance, but that's what we have left to spend. That's what we can spend in this series without spending any of our own money. Does that make sense? I've taken out my initial amount that we started this whole series with. I did that ages ago, and that cash balance is what we've made during this series. And if you want to go see how we've managed to do that, like I said, go back and check out episode 1 all the way through to where we are now, and you'll see how we've managed to accumulate that cash balance and the collection itself. In the next episode, we're going to go spend some of that profit, but for right now, if you have enjoyed it, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.